Good afternoon. My topic is about evaluating sources.
Evaluating sources. What is source evaluation? It is the process of critically evaluating information in relation to a given purpose in order to determine if it is appropriate for the intended use. It is important to evaluate each source to determine the quality of the information provided within it. Evaluating information sources is an important part of the research process. Not all information is reliable or true, nor will all information be suitable for your paper or project. Users must be able to critically evaluate the appropriateness of all types of information sources prior to relying on the information. Why there is a need to evaluate sources? First is that instructors expect students to use scholarly sources. Scholarly sources such as journals contain articles written by experts in a particular field. The primary audience of these articles are other experts. These publications are peer-reviewed or referred, which means that scholars in the same field review the research and findings before the article is published. Second, information can be out of date, inaccurate, and even purposely misleading. A research study is considered to be outdated when it is over 3 years old due to market or economic and consumer behavior variations, demographic changes, and alterations of products. It is considered inaccurate when some of their information and attached resources may not be reliable, such as sites that provide biased information, and could be purposely misleading, such as fake news, which are rampant in social media nowadays. Third is that some forms of information allow anyone to contribute content only to sell products or ads by generating traffic. A native ad could appear to be a research article, but in fact, the author is being paid or in some way affiliated with the corporation that produces the product. So therefore, we have to be very careful in evaluating the sources of our information. So in evaluating sources, it can also be summed up in a criteria assessment using the CRAAP test. CRAAP stands for C, currency, R for relevancy, A for authority, another A for accuracy, and P for purpose. This tool helps researchers identify reliable sources and then accurately and easily reference them. So C for currency. It is the timeliness of information. One may ask, when was the information published or posted? Has the information been revised or updated? Is the information current or out of date for your topic? A recent update does not mean the information is current. The content might still be out of date even if the date given is recent. To determine if information is up to date, compare the information to other sources, such as scholarly articles found in the library database. This is very important for science, technology, business, and health, where new information is frequently produced. Relevancy. The importance of the information for your needs. You may ask, does the information relate to your topic or does it answer your question? Who are the intended audience? Is it is the information at an appropriate level? Is it not too elementary or too advanced for your needs? Have you looked at a variety of sources before determining this is the one that you will use? Next is authority. It is the source of the information. You may ask, who is the author? The publisher, source, or sponsor? Are the author's credentials or organizational affiliations given? What are the author's qualifications to write the topic? Next is for accuracy. This is the reliability, truthfulness, and correctness of the content. You may ask yourself, where does the information come from? Is the information supported by evidence? Has the information been reviewed or referred? Can you verify the information in another source or from personal knowledge? Does the language or tone seem biased or emotional? Are there any obvious errors such as spellings or grammars? Many websites, particularly nonprofit organizations or advocacy groups, will have a particular agenda or purpose that results in information with a bias. A bias is not necessarily bad, but it is very important to take into account when interpreting or using the given information. Consider if the author is fair, balanced, or moderate in their presentation or viewpoint. Next is purpose. It is the reason the information exists. You should ask yourself, what is the purpose of this information? Does it inform, persuade, sell, or entertain? Are the intentions of the authors or sponsors clear? Does the point of view appear objective? Are there any political, cultural, institutional, or personal biases? Websites may have several purposes, such as to persuade and entertain at the same time. It is very important to analyze if one purpose conflicts with the information found on the website. You should also consider unstated purposes that are found in clues, such as the aim of the organization or the use of advertising on the page. So I have here a sample text from the Review of Related Literature of the dissertation paper of Dr. Castro. I have researched on the authors that he have cited, Dr. Harvey and Dr. Green over the internet, and a journal entitled Defining Quality for Assessment and Evaluation in Higher Education, an international journal, appeared. So if we are to apply the tool, which is the CRAP test, so for currency, it is indicated that the journal was first published in June 1992 and was revised on September 1992. But then there is a forthcoming on January 1993, which Dr. Castro used since it is the recent one. And for relevancy, since the study of Dr. Castro is about higher education, sustainability perspectives, and practices, the journal of Dr. Harvey and Dr. Green is relevant since Dr. Castro did define quality in higher education to establish a strong argument in which this journal talks about. And for authority, on the last portion of this journal, there is a biographical note written wherein the background, the affiliation, and the personal accomplishments of the authors are reflected. Then for accuracy, so the journal of Dr. Harvey and Dr. Green contains the right and reliable information needed for the study of Dr. Castro. And for the purpose, since the authors are both connected at the University of Central England, therefore, the journal was published for the intention to study quality education on the higher education. And to sum up, we evaluate information of our sources first to find the most relevant information for your topic and assignment. Then, to ensure the quality and reliability of your research. Then, to find expert views, opinions, and research on your topic. To weed out unreliable, biased, outdated, and/or incorrect information. And to make sure you get the information your professor is seeking. Today, research is published and accessed at a much faster pace than ever before. This leads to a massive amount of unreliable articles and books that students and researchers need to wade through. So the next topic that I will discuss is using people as primary sources. So primary sources are immediate, first-hand accounts of a topic from people who had a direct connection with it. So we use primary sources. First, we collect primary data from people even if your research is not directly about them, because we have to consider the fact that this data will be of use to your study. Then don't ignore people in local business, government, or civic organizations, since they are much of expertise to their own fields. And you have to plan your interview by determining exactly what you want to know to efficiently get what you need. So I have also here the source of data from the paper of Dr. Castro, wherein he indicated that both primary and secondary data were the source of analysis in the study, and that his primary data came from the key informant interviews, specifically from the vice presidents for academic affairs and heads of quality assurance offices. So he uses people as his primary source of data. So the data gathering instrument that he used is a semi-structured interview or an interview in which it captures the unique experiences and special stories of the interviewers. The central idea of an unstructured interview is that the researcher wants to gain insight on what the respondents consider relevant and how they interpret the situation. So interview as a primary source of data, we have to take note that first, if you conduct the interview yourself and included it as a supporting evidence in your research paper, then it is considered a primary data. Then interviews are often conducted as case studies, qualitative surveys such as the dissertation paper of Dr. Castro, or to get an insight into the inspiration and thinking behind an artistic work. And it is very important to remember that only the raw interview is considered to be the primary source. So if the interview is conducted by someone else in your research, you must acknowledge this as a secondary source already. That will be all for my topic. Thank you and God bless.